What's up, Huskies? So today's lesson is pretty much in review of what you've done before. What I'm going to see today is that you're able to identify on all of these how to just write the slope out. And your slope goes here. And then not only the slope, but whatever it is, plus the y-intercept. Whatever you got going on there. So you're going to have to write out each equation. So making sure you understand this closely, you have to know this for high school. I can't say this enough. You need to be good at looking at a line and knowing exactly what it is. This is a linear graph. These are linear functions or graphs. And you're going to look at this graph, this line, and identify first. Your first step is to identify the y-intercept first. So how do you look at that? You have to look at each. Let me see if I can do a little highlighter tool. This is your y-axis, right? On all of these. Oops, let me be a little better. Y-axis, y-axis, y-axis. You have to identify where in the world does this line touch the y-axis. And wherever that is going to go right in that spot. Okay? So we should be able to do this, no problem. I'm going to write this equation out, this one right here, y equals, I notice it's right here. It's touching it, and that's what? At plus 5. You see that? Then, second step is to figure out the slope. And the slope is a rise and run, or it could be a fall and run. And that means it's a negative slope if it's falling and running. Now this first one's kind of difficult, but you have to be able to locate another coordinate on this graph. And luckily for this one, there's a bunch of them. You see them? Let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make the pen a little bigger so you can see all these points. There's a point there. There, I can be a little more precise. But you see where the points are, right? And if I'm going to do this one, it's going to be up 1 over 1. Rise 1, run 1. 1 over 1. Now, what is this missing? You must have the x there, too. And to write this all clean, very cleanly, it should be y equals, you don't even have to put the 1 there, x plus 5. Okay? And that would be the answer for this one here. All right, let me go ahead and just all ink again, and let's see if you can do this on your own. Again, knowing this one is actually from 7th grade. Why is this from 7th grade? Because the line is going through the origin, and when it goes to the origin in 7th grade, you learned it's called proportional as well, if you remember that. So y equals something x plus, you could put plus 0, but they never do that in equations. They don't put plus 0. But for this one, you're going to have this here, and then go ahead and find out where another point is. Now, if you're looking at this line, let me erase all my ink again. Y equals something x. You don't need to put the plus 0. It doesn't need to be part of your answer. We know it's plus 0. We know the y-intercept is 0. Where's another point on this line? Can you see it? How about right here? You see that's where the point is? So you're going to start at the origin, and then you're going to go what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 5. You're rising 5, and then you're running 1, 2. Running 2. How do you write that out? 5 over 2x, and that would be your final answer. Okay? You guys are capable of this stuff. It's light work. You remember doing this way back in the day, and we're just jogging your memory again, okay? For those students that didn't have, try to get this concept, because there's a lot of you that I didn't have first semester, all right? Let's go to number 7. Well, I see right away there's a coordinate there. And then where's another one? Can you find another one? This one's kind of tough. As you follow the line, I think there's one right here. I think that's what they want us to look at. If those are 2 points, let's go ahead and write out the equation. Y equals, let's see what this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over, what is it, 1, 2, up 7 over 2. Y equals 7 over 2x. And then what's my y-intercept? Where does it cross the y? At plus 5. All right, there's our answer for number 7. All Number 8, we're going to go through this and see, we're going to cross. This is where a point is for sure. We know where that is. So if I was actually making my answer here, I'm just waiting for my slope now, right? This is a helpful way to eliminate answers on multiple choices, okay? That if it's A, B, C, or D, you could start crossing stuff out if they didn't have that as positive 4, right? Now, where's another point? You gotta be super exact. It's right there. I'm gonna go what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 over 4. And there's your answer for that one. Okay. So you literally just now were writing equations from graphs. Now let's jump it to another kind of idea. Let me pause this real quick. All right, what about something like this? If I'm looking at this graph here, first thing I want to look at is I want to try to find out where my y-intercept is. Now, where's my y-intercept at? Remember, you're going to write this out. Y equals something x plus something. It could be a minus something too. I'm just writing plus. And if you see my y-intercept, it's at positive 18. That's half my answer. Now let's go ahead and see, where does another point happen? Right here. You can pick this one, you can pick this one, and this one. Okay? Now you're going to go rise and run. You're going to rise, what, 6? And run 1. You see why it's 1 from here to here? It's only 1. So each unit is a half. Okay? So 6x. And that would be your final answer. Now, can I just tell you something next week? Probably giving you a little sneak preview. You're like, Bruce, why are we going over all this stuff we already know? So next week will be kind of a trip. And it's going to be, you're going to have graphs that have like points like this all over the place. And what you're supposed to do is eventually, you're supposed to eventually just pick 2 points randomly that they won't have a line here. There won't be a line there yet. You're just supposed to pick 2 points randomly and try to give me a line or an equation for it. So understand that we did a little scatter plot unit. That's going to come back next week. I was just giving you a little sneak preview of what's going to happen. All right, guys. All right, what if we go back to something like this now? Write an equation that models this function. Function or equation, same idea. That models this function. All right, well, I'm going to choose, you just pick any 2 points you want. If you wanted to pick one that had 0, that's fine. But if I just pick the first 2 points, and let's go ahead and use those. What is my equation first? Find slope. Nobody should have issues with this. Y minus y over x minus x. So this is going to be 5 minus 2. You see what I did there? These are my y's. Over x minus x, negative 4 minus a negative 1. Don't forget the negative is part of the equation. So if there's another negative in there, you got to put it in there. Now, 5 minus 2 is 3. And if you struggled on negative 4 minus a negative 1, I always tell you, you could use your calculator, negative 4 minus a negative 1, and you get negative 3. Okay? Why do you get negative 3? Because ultimately these two negatives turn into a positive. You should have learned that in 6th, 7th grade. If you didn't, two negatives next to each other become positive. So negative 4 plus 1 becomes negative 3. Now, what does this reduce to? If you still struggled, 3 over 3, you should know turns into 1 whole, but that negative's there. So you're going to have y equals negative 1. This equals negative 1, okay? Now, if that is your slope, cool. Okay, I'm going to erase all this. Hopefully you got that. Y equals negative 1x. Do I even have to have the negative 1 there? No, but it's going to help me for this next step. If you forgot, take any of these coordinates, any one of them, and plug them in to see if this works out. Let's plug in negative 4 comma 5. Negative 4, 5. That's my x, that's my y. Negative 4 goes here. The 5 goes here. All right? What's negative 4 times negative 1? It's going to be positive 4. Do you see that? These two together equal positive 4. Does this 5 over here equal 4? Nope. Only when you add 1. I'm going to try this all over again because it looks a little messy. I don't like how it looks. What was my slope? Negative 1x. And now I'm going to choose the next point. Negative 1 comma 2. I'm choosing this point. Where does negative 1 go? Where does 2 go? Negative 1 goes right here. All right? 2 goes right here. Read the sentence for me. If this is a language arts class, does 2 equal negative 1 times negative 1, which is positive 1? Does 2 equal 1? No, that's a false statement. That does not equal it. How can I make 2 equal 1? If I plus 1, and that's my final answer. All right? A little confusing, but you guys can handle that. That's not a big deal. Okay, so now write the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. You have the capability. You're just going to first figure out what the heck is the slope of these 2 points. How do you figure that? Y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so negative 2 minus 9. Oh, wow, come there. Negative 2 minus 19 over negative 1 minus 6. All right, if you struggle, what's negative 2 minus, what was it, 19? Negative 21. All right, negative 21. And guess what? I know these are 2 negatives right here, and I'm going to combine them. Negative 1 and negative 6. They're both on the negative team. We're going to combine them. Negative 21 over negative 7 actually turns into a positive 3. Do you see that 7 goes into 21 3 times? And there's 2 negatives. 2 negatives equals a positive. So you just found the slope. I did. We both did, right? Now, y equals 3x. Are we good with that? Now, I'm going to plug in a point. You know what? I'm going to plug in the positive one. That just makes it easier. 6 goes here. 19 goes here. All right? What is 6 times 3? 18. Does 19 equal 18? Only when I add 1. Does 19 equal 19 now? See how we want that true statement? So your final answer would be y equals 3x plus 1. We've done this before. We got to get good at this skill to level up for next week. Okay? This Edpuzzle should help you for tomorrow's quiz. You'll get feedback on that quiz through Google Classroom. Everything's going to be through Google Classroom now. Okay? All right, do the best you can, and I will hear from you later. If you would like to do the flip grid, that's going to be given to you on Thursday as well to try to figure out. Friday has no school, so you're going to get it early as a little piece of that, so you can do that over the weekend too. I'll talk to you later, guys. Stay safe, stay inside. Talk to you later.